Are you feeling overwhelmed that you have too much to do and you don't know how to manage everything? Even though we try to keep things simple, things may come up that are beyond our control and unexpected busyness creeps in and we feel stressed. At the time I'm making this video, it's during the busy holiday season. So unfortunately, feeling overwhelmed can become a holiday tradition. So what can we do? In this video, I will share 7 tips to try and conquer feelings of being overwhelmed. Welcome to my channel. I'm Maria, and if you would like tips about simple and healthy living, then you have come to the right place. Feeling overwhelmed at times is a normal part of life because life is unpredictable and can get busy, and it's a natural response to stressors that come our way. As soon as we get into a routine, something unexpected can happen and we find ourselves out of sorts and having more responsibilities than we planned. I was getting used to being an empty nester and being able to make last-minute plans with my husband. And just when I fell into a new routine and enjoying my newfound freedom, my dad took a fall and his health declined rapidly. So I had to make time to take care of him and my mom since he was her main caretaker. Then when my dad passed away, my mom had to move in with me and my husband, ushering in a new role of full-time caregiving to my mom who has dementia. Another transition that I'm still adjusting to. I definitely have not mastered my new role into my existing life yet, but I'm learning along the way. So I'm learning that while it is natural to feel emotionally overwhelmed at different times during our lives, such as my time now, it's important to make sure that I don't stay in this state. Life isn't so simple anymore, but in my attempt to slow down and keep a manageable pace, here are 7 strategies that I have incorporated that are helping me to keep things as simple as possible. First, set boundaries. Unfortunately, we don't have unlimited time or energy no matter how much caffeine we drink in the morning. And we cannot do everything, especially as a mom when you are expected to do everything. There is only so much I can do before I feel like I will go crazy. Juggling jobs, family responsibilities, house chores, and other roles we take on can be exhausting mentally and physically. So acknowledge your limits. Now that I have taken on the role of my mom's caregiver, I decided that I can only devote a certain number of hours, 1 to 2 days a week, to take my mom to her appointments and work on her matters. By setting these boundaries, I know I have time to work on my other responsibilities, and when I do take care of things for my mom, I can give it my full attention instead of being constantly distracted, and then I won't get resentful in my caretaking role. So for non-emergency responsibilities, set designated time for them. And what if you don't get to everything? That leads me to my next thing that I do to decrease overwhelm. So second, set and limit your priorities. I love having to-do lists, and my mindset used to be to check off as much on that list every day. But the problem with that was that sometimes in order to get as much done as possible, not everything I did was important or helped me in my goals. So often I would get a lot done, but at the end of the day, I felt that I did nothing. So why was that? That was because I did things that were often easy and avoided the harder stuff or things that took more time. Rather than updating my class for the semester, I spend too much time researching the best planner I can get on Amazon. I do need a good planner, but I really don't need to spend 2 hours to research every planner available. If you have a favorite planner, let me know in the comments below. So take a long look at your to-do list and figure out what is truly important and must be done. Each day I try to have no more than 3 top priorities to focus on completing. And remember to take care of your health. Physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, and social. Sometimes when I'm so busy taking care of others, I push my own needs aside. So when setting priorities, make self-care one of them. As for the rest of my to-do list, if I have time, I tackle more tasks. But if I need to push some things off to the next day or the day after that, or even beyond, I've learned that it is okay. Not everything is urgent, and not everything that is urgent is important. And sometimes I find that some things on my list are just not worth doing at all. Third strategy to conquer getting burnt out is to align your roles to your priorities. So here I want you to take out a sheet of paper or a blank page on your device and write down all the roles that you hold in your life. No role is too minor to write down. For me, I'm a wife, mother, Even though my kids are grown, I'm here for them and will drop everything if they need me. Plus, I'm still paying college tuition for my youngest, so I keep my career role. I also enjoy my role as content creator for these videos, and my new role for the past 5 months is being a caregiver to my mom. Those are the roles that take the most time. Other roles I have are cat mom, plant mom, housekeeper to my home, meal planner and cook for my family, gardener, organizer and declutterer professionally and personally, and community volunteer. Of these other roles, some are important, such as cooking, especially now that I need to make meals specific to my mom's health needs. But other things, such as being a gardener, are not as important. I like it, and gardening helps me de-stress, so I give myself some time on a weekly basis to work on my garden. But I know if something came up, I would give up areas that are not as important. There have been times where I definitely took on too many roles and spread myself too thin, where instead of being able to do my roles well, I resented my roles. So after you make your list, ask yourself, are there any that you can reduce or eliminate? And you can determine this by looking at the items that you complete on a daily basis or would like to complete and seeing which roles they fit under. If there are any roles that are not getting the attention it needs, maybe it's time to rethink them. Fourth, don't be available 24/7. Thanks to email and texting and mobile devices, we have become accessible 24/7, and that's not good. I remember when I first started teaching and I had students email me at 2 a.m. and wonder why I didn't respond by 7 a.m. Now I tell my students when I am available during the work week and when I'm not. Anyway, because I suddenly have so much to do, every moment of every day seems to be accounted for. So I often turn off my phone or set it to do not disturb at night until morning, and other times when needed. It's okay to not be accessible all the time. Next strategy that helps me tremendously is to write out my schedule each day. Every evening, I make my schedule for the next day. Somehow, when I don't write things down, my mind makes me feel that I have a ton to do. And sometimes I do have a lot that needs to be done, but when I write out my list and schedule for the next day, I can see my priorities and other tasks and figure out how to manage it better. Sometimes seeing everything written down makes things seem more manageable than when these things are swirling in my head. And part of making a daily schedule is to see where I can make time for myself, and usually it's the last hour before bedtime. I guard these times to unwind and relax like a priceless gem. Sixth strategy is declutter items that you don't need or don't want to maintain. I know I've mentioned this before, so I won't elaborate here, but reducing items in our environment that need care and maintenance will help decrease the burdens around us. I love houseplants, but I'm not allowing myself to get any more because what I have is enough to take care of. And as this year is ending, I will be getting rid of more things to lighten my load. Seventh strategy, be honest about how you feel. Sometimes these feelings of being burnt out and overwhelmed leave us feeling like we failed. I mean, I didn't think it would be hard to be a caregiver to my mom while working my part-time job, but it is. I'm thankful that I had the foresight to turn down a class for this semester when I was already feeling overwhelmed while my parents were at their assisted living facility. But when I did, I felt that I failed in some ways because I wanted to be able to do more. Now I'm just thankful that I don't have that workload. And sometimes when we are honest about how we feel, we do realize that we can't do it all, which leads me to my final strategy. And I know I've mentioned this before, but this final strategy has definitely saved my sanity, and that is to get help when you need it. Some things will take more time than you have time for, or you may not feel you have the energy to tackle some tasks. This is where it's okay to get help. I resisted getting someone to help me clean my house because I kept thinking I should be able to do this on my own. And I would clean different areas of the house on different days and space things apart. But I had a hard time keeping up with my chores. So maybe my mom noticed that I was constantly doing things around the house or that the house was not as clean as it could be. So she offered to hire someone to help clean. But still I resisted because I thought it was her way of complaining about the cleanliness of my house. But after a few weeks of her asking over and over to get a cleaner, I finally did. And I have to admit that it was really nice to have the whole house clean and have time to take care of other things. So I will probably take advantage of that service again at some point. But get the help you need. Don't let pride get in the way of asking for help. It does not always mean you have to hire someone. You can ask friends and family to help with some tasks. What are some of the strategies that I shared that would help you when you feel overwhelmed? What are some other ways that have helped you? Please share in the comments below. We can all learn from one another. If this video helped you, please hit the like button. If you are looking for tips for simple living for a healthy life, please remember to subscribe. If you would like more tips about reducing stress, watch this video next, and I'll see you over there.